It's not just Alex Vanover racing in DRL. There's a lot of other really good pilots, including Nurk, Jet, and Gab 707. So here was my question to Alex. Who do you fear? Who's the one that keeps you up at night? Who's the one that you don't want to see in any final? And Alex tells me, and I think you're going to love his answer. I am proud to announce today's sponsor, which is none other than Rotor Riot, specifically the Rotor Riot Hype Train motors. Johnny, tell us a little bit about them.
The Hype Train Vanover motor marks Hype Train's first race motor offering. Designed for absolute maximum racing performance, this motor is an exceptional choice for freestyle as well, taking a ton of abuse while staying smooth. Developed with the direct input of drone racing champion Alex Vanover, the Hype Train Vanover clocks in at 1860 kV, perfect for 6S pilots looking for a superb competition motor. With a state-of-the-art 2207.5 core, the Vanover motor has an incredible response time which allows you to fly precisely on the racetrack. It flies smooth and has a very predictable throttle curve. The motor core is made with single-strand heat-resistant copper windings. This motor configuration allows advanced pilots to run a lower DMAG setting, which results in increased power output and efficiency with reduced risk of desync. With these motors on your quad, you will not only have the fastest quad on the track, but also the best looking one. If you ask Alex, the navy blue belt cuts through the air faster than any other color.
So there you see, the Hype Train Vanover motors are no joke, and you can get your own with the code ROTOROLLINS. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. ROTOROLLINS gets you 10% off your next Hype Train purchase. Appreciate the sponsorship, Rotor Riot. Y'all keep making good content.
So there's three names that have come up multiple times in our interview that are not people you've trained with, which is Nurk, Jet, and Gab. Out of the three of those, which one concerns you the most?
That's a good question. I probably want to say Gab, and here's why. I look at it more than just like how they've just performed recently. Gab has consistently come up short more than any other DRO pilot. Second place in all these championships, always at the final line. And he's always had the ability to beat all these other guys. And he's done it before, but when it counted, he just came up short. If I was in his position, I would be fueled. And I would be just knowing, I would tell myself that it's just a matter of time until it happens. It has to be. You're right there with them. Like I said earlier, luck has to go a little bit in your favor. And that's why I fear Gab the most, because he's probably one of the smoothest pilots on DRL. He's one of the fastest, and when he's on it, he's on it. Now, Nurk runs hot or cold. I'll just say it up front. I think he's probably one of the luckiest DRL pilots. Now, he puts in all the work to it. Don't get me wrong there. But he barely made it into that golden heat of level 2. He got in because Duncan and I crashed into each other. Plain and simple. I don't care what he says. That's the facts. And he got in, he earned it, that's great, and then he proved himself in the final to be able to take it up a notch. But he's in level 1, he couldn't even touch us. It took him the same track 2 levels to get to our point on that track. And then Jet runs really hot from the beginning. So in an early level, he can be the fastest one out there on the track. He was in practice and ranking rounds and everything. So I guess Gab is probably the one I would still fear the most, because I think it's like a ticking time bomb with him. But all three of those guys that I talked the most about are probably the ones that I don't fear anyone. Not just them. I look at all 11 other pilots this year as threats, and I look at their strengths and I look at their weaknesses. I studied DRL before levels 1 and 2. I've rewatched all the episodes multiple times, studying where these guys' weaknesses and their strengths are. And it's hard to say who's the biggest threat. Definitely those three, though, are probably the biggest threats for the show, and their experience on DRL definitely shows that.
When I talked to Nurk, one of the things Nurk said is that I think he's been on, this is his third season on. And what he said, and he took champion last year. He said that the beginning of the season, the rookies don't ever do as well. And then they learn, and everybody comes on strong towards the end.
Yep.
What does that mean for you?
It means exactly what I said it would be. I'm just gonna be cocky and call it as it is. I knew win or lose level 1 and 2, that I would go in there blazing fast with those quads. Whether I finished every heat or I crashed every heat, I knew I was going to make a statement going in there. And my consistency in racing showed that I can hang with the best guys. Not necessarily my speed, even though on level 1 I set the fastest time. It just was my consistency showed. And I guess it was really humbling to me to know that I had DRL producers, and I had people telling me before that race, just think about this mentally. We show up, we all are staying in the same hotel with all the DRL crew. Mm-hmm. This hotel is probably booked with 150 people from DRL. And I'm not going to say names, but this one person from DRL, he comes up to me, and he's telling me, he's like, I hear, you're a fast pilot and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, I've been with DRL since day one, and can I give you a piece of advice? And I said, absolutely. I'm here for all the advice I can get. And he just flat out told me, he goes, never has a rookie ever come in here and been dominant. So I don't want you to get your hopes down if you don't come in here and do well. And I'm like, I'm prepared for all. I said respectfully, I said, I know I'm 19 and you probably have a lot more experience in DRL than me, but I'm not your normal rookie coming in here. I said it. I said, I'm not your normal rookie. Win or lose, I'm going to learn a lot from this. And then I came in there and did what I did. So it feels great to know that as a rookie, I was able to come in there and win. And I think that just shows people, and as a reminder, that throughout the season, you're going to see me get better and better and better going forward. But everyone else is going to get better and better as well, because this is like I said, the next wave is coming. So they have no choice if they want to keep their spots eventually. So at the same time, I don't want to make a far-fetched statement as like I'm going to destroy these guys. But I think the racing itself is going to get better and better, and everyone else is going to get faster, including me.
One of the things I heard that really shocked me, you're known as a low-rate pilot in the sense of you fly with lower rates, not as a sub-rate pilot, right? That didn't sound right.
Yeah.
But you fly with what, 600, 400? What's your typical rate on a regular 5-inch?
About 450 degrees a second. For just yesterday on the multi-GP track, I actually bumped it up to my roll up to about 500 because I actually didn't have enough roll to do the split S fast enough on one of the gates. It was just funny. Mainly because I was flying a 5-inch quad. I'm like, oh, this thing's fast. I think if I'd been only training with a 5-inch, I would have been fine. But I was trying to just like pedal through the gates. But those are my usual rates. And I think where you're leading to is the rates that I was flying on DRL.
Yeah, what happened before you went into Miami?
So we get 5 rate choices, and I saw one of the rate choices and I put it on my quads. It's like 600 degrees a second. The one that was like 400 degrees a second is the one most of the guys fly, and it felt terrible to me. I can't understand why anyone would ever want to fly these rates. Maybe they're not, but they feel like elbow rates where there's nothing and then full stick. I hate that. The 600, 700 degrees second rates felt pretty linear to me. It was too touchy at the start of it. I'm glad I didn't just go into there. But then what ended up happening was on the Tyrannus, there's a knob. And when you're at the race, you turn the knob. And on 3 of the choices, it kind of clicks in. But on the knob, there's no centered for the 45-degree marks. Mm-hmm. So I flew my very first practice battery they said the lowest rates are all the way to the left. I'm like, I flew it. I'm like, oh, this isn't the one I want. This is the one I hate. They said, well, just turn it up to the next one. I didn't realize that. I thought it was like half. The next notch was the next one. Well, that was 2 more steps up. So I was flying Johnny FPV rates. So 900 degrees a second. Actually, no. It was 1,128 degrees a second on roll. And I'm like, oh, at first I flew it. I'm like, oh, this feels just like I'm like. And then all of a sudden I went to make a correction, and I did a full roll. I'm like, uh-oh, this isn't right. But then in my ranking rounds and stuff, I wasn't doing well in DRL. I was like a lot of nerves coming in. And also just like having video issues and stuff. So when I went into semifinals, I basically had only finished the track once or twice. So I basically said, I'm flying these rates. This was very frustrating for me. And this isn't to pick on DRL because they were under a lot of stress at this first event, unveiling the new Racer 4. But no one at the first race gave me a clear answer as I would tell them, like, my rates are like 600. And they're like, well, which profile is that? I'm like, I don't know. You guys should know, right? Like, tell me which one it is and I'll put it on the radio. So it didn't happen at the first race. In fact, the race I did in New York City, the exhibition race, I also flew Johnny rates because I picked up the radio. I'm like, oh, well, this feels like it did in Miami, so we'll fly it. Now I have a clear answer going forward as to which one is what. So I'm looking forward to the next race so I can hopefully fly the rates. The problem when you're flying high rates is not only are you not flying what you trained on, but now, in my opinion, that's way too high on a Racer 4. So you're never hitting full stick, meaning your resolution is a lot less. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to hopefully be flying the right rates going forward, the ones I practice with, because then I'll be able to feel more comfortable. I was always really stressed out flying that quad that if I made a mistake, that I would overcorrect. And I did that one time in level 1, and it was in heat 5, and I hit the ground. I was like, like this, and I was able to save it by pure luck. I don't know how. I'm not going to even say that it was skill. It just pure luck that I saved it and didn't overcorrect and roll upside down. But yeah, I was flying the wrong rates. It's okay. I know what I need to do going forward. So for anyone who watched the show, yeah, I was flying Johnny F3 rates, which they feel pretty juicy. I did some nice juicy flicks going down the stadium. It felt good. It just was way too fast. That's all.
So you've corrected it back down to your normal rate.
What I practice.
Okay,
with.
very good.
Excited.
One of the things, and this is a total 90-degree left-hand turn. One of the things that both of my boys picked up on, and keep in mind they're 13 and 12, was that you're 19 years old, and when you held up the prop, they're spraying you with champagne, and you're not old enough to drink.
Yeah. Just picture yourself in this position for a second. You're 19 years old. You've had a long night of racing, and I'm not a person to drink regardless.
Right.
I wouldn't have minded tasting some champagne, to be fair. You get up there and you're like, you're going to hold this heavy prop up above your head, and you're not going to get to spray these guys with champagne, so they're going to spray you. And I got to say, Jet's accuracy with a bottle of champagne is insane. He knows how to aim right for your eyes. Perfectly. I have to give him a round of applause because, his aim it's like he trains more for that than he does for deer. Like, he trains harder for that, and he trains really hard for both. No, it was, yeah, I couldn't drink the champagne. I could get sprayed with champagne, which is funny because in level 2, I'm now on the second podium, and so we're supposed to be spraying Nurk. It would be awkward if his nub is spraying from one side.
Right.
So they had made it. I had just been sprayed with champagne. We changed jerseys. They put me back up there. It's like, all right, we're doing the next awards. And they give bottles, like 5 total bottles, to 5 DRL pilots. And they tell us all to stand on the top podium, and we get sprayed. And instantly it got straight in my eyes. And there's just 5 guys unloading. They're not unloading on Nurk. Like, maybe the show looks like that. They're unloading on me. Like, 150% on me. I was drenched. I was, like, soaking. You could hear the ground, like, the sound of just champagne hitting the ground as I'm walking. And I was, like, trying to come up to, like, DRL producers and give them hugs. I'm like, come here. Come give me a hug. And everything. Like, I think I went back to the hotel in the shuttle bus with my shirt off. And, like, I did not want to be in that champagne. No, that's why they picked up on that. Yeah, I am not old enough. So going forward, you will not see me holding that champagne bottle, whether it's a foreign location or not, because it's on NBC and everything, which is fine. So my mom doesn't have to worry.
There you go. There you go.
So it's good. Maybe that was her input, actually.
So how are you feeling about the next level? What's your prediction? And I'm sure you can't talk about any of the elements, but are there new elements that we haven't seen yet?
So the track, let me make sure.
Yeah, keep it clean.
Okay. Let's start with my predictions. So I think going into the levels 3 and 4, I feel probably more confident than I did going into levels 1 and 2. And not necessarily just overall confidence. I feel more confident knowing what I'm preparing for. We know what the track is, just like we did in level 1 and 2, but I know that I'm training the right way for it. I know I am. I could get there and be wrong, right? But based on, they did a much better job too of showing us what the track would be like. So I'm really confident. I know the track is going to definitely favor my flying style in some areas, which I think that'll showcase how well I can actually fly a Racer 4 better versus just if I can hold it full throttle in a straight line. So I feel great. I know what to expect. I know how to physically prepare myself. I predict I win at least one of those levels. I said this in DRL. I said, I'm here to win, not podium. But at the same time, this whole DRL championship this year is a marathon, as Nurk said. It's not a sprint. And it's a seasonal points thing. I really think I'm going to win that first level. I think I'm going to win level 3. I think I'm going to come in there really hot. I've been known to learn a track quickly. I think that's going to be great. I think going into level 4, we're going to see the best racing in DRL yet. Everyone's going to know the track. It's going to be fast. We're going to be well rested for level 4, ready to go. And I think if I go in there, if the way that I've been training, even with Nub and Fluxy, I can beat these guys, no problem. I can gap these guys on 5 packs into a track, where I couldn't have done that before, because now I know the quad, I know how to train with it better and everything. So we'll see. Personally, I would like to think I go win levels 3 and 4, but I've been proven wrong before, and I might get proven wrong again. I do foresee myself for sure winning one of those levels, and I bank on winning the first one, mainly because I just come in hot to a race, and I look forward. I'm so eager. Tomorrow is going to be a rest day for me. It's the first time I will have not flown a racer 4 in 3 weeks. I've been flying consistently, minimum 75 batteries a day when the weather's bad, and over 130 batteries. About 130 was my very max. I actually have a screenshot of it. I have a little tally thing on my phone. I have a screenshot of me flying 130 batteries, and I have all the footage and everything. I've been coming home, studying it, and levels 1 and 2 motivated me like never before, especially knowing what I need to prepare for, and just seeing myself on DRL, something I've wanted to see myself do for a very long time, is a true blessing, and it just motivated me to go win this championship, go be the best in the world in racing, and I don't want to do it in the final race where like, oh well, that race could have been rerun and blah blah blah. I want to show people throughout the season that I am the best pilot in DRL, and that I'm here to be the world champion, and I think that's going to reflect in my performance going into levels 3 and 4.
I like it.
And Phoenix as well, the live race.
I like it. Well, thank you, sir. This has been very, very good. You got any other things you'd like to finish out on?
I really think you did a good job. You asked the right questions. It's going to be really the best racing in DRL to watch coming up. So if anyone hasn't watched it yet, you can go watch the Twitter stream and look forward to probably sometime in September and October DRL airing constantly of the levels 3, 4, 5, 6, and then of course the final one throughout the rest of this fall. So really looking forward to showing you guys what I can do.
They're pre-filming 3 and 4, like they're not going to air that while y'all are flying it, right?
Correct.
Okay.
They're going to pre-air 3 and 4. I believe the Phoenix race as well, they're not going to air it live. I think the event is live, so anyone who's there obviously knows what happens. They may have to sign some NDA or something, I don't know, but I know they'll air it on NBC.
Okay, cool, man. Well, thank you, sir. I greatly appreciate your time, and looking forward to see if your predictions are accurate.
Me too. Me too.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
So there you have it. Alex is not afraid of Gab 707 per se, but he's the one that he thinks represents the most threat to any of his chances of winning out in a final. I'd like to thank Rotor Riot for sponsoring this entire interview series. It was really awesome of them. And remember, you can go use the code ROTORROLLINS for 10% off any Hype Train motor purchase. It doesn't just have to be the Vanover Hype Train motor. It can be any Hype Train motor, and including those blasters, folks. There's an awesome program with them. I'd also like to thank my patrons. My patrons and my sponsors make this possible, and they give me the fuel to keep going. They give me the ability to make this into something more than just a hobby, and I greatly appreciate everything that they do. You can find the link below to my Patreon, or you can find it at the end of this video, and I hope that you all have a great day. Bye.